Alright, what is happening, guys? Today, I'm just out riding around. A little chilly for a ride, but I was smart enough to wear my winter gloves today, so maybe I could ride for a little bit longer. Like I mentioned in the last video, Virginia springtime weather is so stupid. I mean, like I said, I was sleeves rolled up the other day. It's like 60 some degrees, and you know, today it's 45, 46 degrees at the most, and it's just crazy, man. I'm about tired of it. I'm ready for the summertime. But anyway, today I was kind of wanting to, you know, ride down the road and talk about a few things that I actually hate about the FatBob. Honestly, really not. I mean, I absolutely love this bike. This is an amazing machine. It is, I mean, to me, yeah, obviously it's subjective, but to me, this bike is almost perfect. That being said, there are a few flaws that I figured I would, you know, I could point out. A couple of them I've already addressed already on this bike, you know, fit to my riding style and fit to, you know, just me in general. But a few things, I mean, are just really probably just nitpicky at this point. I wouldn't say any, you know, obviously none of the things I'm about to talk about are deal breakers for me, at least. They may be deal breakers for somebody else, but yeah, they're not a deal breaker for me. First things first was the stock exhaust. Like I said, I've already put slip-ons on it, and I plan to do a full exhaust system in the future. But the stock exhaust, for one, was not a massive fan of the mufflers. I like the looks of the headers, but the looks of the mufflers were I knew as soon as I got the bike, I was like, that's the first thing that's coming off of it is those mufflers. I'm going to put slip-ons on. But yeah, it was just weird, and they just, all Harleys when they're brand new out of the factory, they're of course quiet compared, you know, to what they could be. So, you know, that was obviously a given. I'm gonna put louder exhaust on it. So that's definitely the first thing that I figured that I'm going to do with this motorcycle, is to get a new exhaust, something that looks better, fits the bike better. Like I said, it didn't look like it fit with the bike. It was that weird brushed aluminum look. It just, I don't know, it just looked odd. And they're just massive. I mean, yeah, these slip-ons that I got on the bike now, these Reinhardt slip-ons, they're big too, but they're more proportionate than what the stock mufflers look. The second thing, and thing I get a lot of comments on, are the mirrors and the placement of them. I wasn't a massive fan of the way the mirrors were placed at the top when they're stock. That was one thing when I had my Sportster before this bike that I got the I just, as soon as I got my Sportster, I flipped the mirrors, which they make that super easy to do with Sportsters. But for you know, Softails and Dynas and, you know, things like the, you know, the bigger bikes, they didn't quite make that as simple of a process to flip them. So you had to buy these mirror extensions and all that stuff, and that's what I've done. I've, you know, used the mirror extensions and flipped the mirrors. So now it's just so much easier for me to see. A lot of people say that the mirrors underneath aren't either as safe, or they can't see out them as well. You know, it's obviously all preference, you know, to your height and, you know, just all sorts of different factors. Like I said, for me, I prefer the mirrors underneath. If the bars were higher up, then it probably wouldn't be so much of a problem for the mirrors to be where they're at stock. But like I said, I prefer them to be underneath. Another thing I've mentioned before in videos, and I believe this is for just about every single Harley Davidson, and not so much for this bike in particular, But the speedo gauge, it gets condensation inside of it. Like I said, I thought it was my bike. I thought maybe there was a seal messed up in it, whatever, you know, all that fun stuff. But my brother has a 2017 Street Bob, and yeah, he said that his speedo does the same exact thing. It clouds up sometimes whenever it's either like really humid, or if you let it out in the rain the night before, or dew from the, you know, from the mornings in the summertime. If you just leave it out, the dew can seep in there. So you know, he's mentioned that, yeah, it's you know, it's a bit of a problem on his bike also. So I would imagine it's probably just a Harley thing. Something with these gauges that, you know, they don't seal them very well. I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, like I said, it just annoys me. You know, in the summer, I'm you know, going down the road, and I look down at the gauge and I can't see my speed or something because it's clouded up, and it's really highly annoying. Issue number 4 that I've had with this bike was the gas cap, and I still have not found a solution for it. I don't know if I have to get a new gas cap or what, but it'll rattle from time to time. Like right now it's fine. Sometimes at low speeds the thing will just, like, if it's not, I don't know what the reason is, but it just starts rattling. It makes this god-awful rattle sound, and it's so annoying. But I have heard of other people mentioning that on their FatBobs, that the gas cap is very, very rattly. And I've yet to find a flush mount gas cap for the FatBob that'll actually fit the FatBob, because that's actually what I had. I had a flush mount gas cap on my Sportster, and I liked the flush mount look. And I don't know, I need to find a flush mount on this for this FatBob. But yeah, I guess number 5, I would have to say, I would probably just have to say that the riding position is not, like I said, it's such a nitpicky thing. This is not a touring bike. This is not what it's designed for. It's designed to, you know, around town, bar hopping. You know, you can go. I've went on, you know, 4-hour rides on this thing, and like I said, after a while, where the riding position of this bike, since, you know, the bars are so low and forward, that, you know, it makes you want to lean into the front of the bike a little bit more. You know, give you this more aggressive ride feel, which is great, you know, because that's what this bike is for. It's for aggressive riding. And then also your feet are far forward a little bit, and they are definitely forward controls, which is great for me. I love forward controls with my long noodle legs. I prefer pegs to be a lot forward, but it definitely gives you this little bit of a taco a bit of a taco feel. It's not quite as bad. If anybody's ever rode the new FXDRs, those things are super, like a crazy triangle. But yeah, this one just puts you in that just a little bit, so you kind of hunched over a little bit. So longer rides, you know, my back tends to start hurting after a while. You know, you have to, luckily the good thing is that this bike has such a small tank that by the time your back starts hurting, you have to stop and get gas anyway. So, you know, you get off, you rest, stretch out a little bit. It kind of works out for you. But anyway, I guess that's all that I can think of off the top of my head. You know, things that I just don't like about this motorcycle. And as I said several times, they're just very small, minute things to me anyway. Some people, it might be a much bigger turn off. Not you know, every bike's not perfect unless you totally customize everything. Just ride it, check it out, see how you feel, and I almost guarantee you're gonna love this bike no matter what. I certainly do. So with all that being said, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. If you liked it, hit that like button down at the bottom. If you subscribe, hit the little bell icon to let you know whenever I post anything new. I'm going to try to get back into weekly posts if I can, if the weather starts permitting a little bit more like it's planning on. So definitely, like I said, definitely hit that subscribe button. You know, you want to keep in touch with me. You know, comment down below if you got any questions. Also comment down below if you know, anything, if you ride a FatBob, if there's anything that you don't like about it, leave it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear anything else. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's something I forgot to mention, but I'm sure other people would love to hear about it too. So anyway, we'll holler at you guys later. Peace.